everyone. So today I'm going to share the first of 5 different Halloween videos on some treats that you can make for the month of October. I always get really excited about all the holidays, and so this one is no different. And my kids have been in a fun run today at school, and they worked really hard and had a lot of fun. And so I want to reward them with some homemade marshmallows when they get home. When most people hear homemade marshmallows, they think that that will be too hard to do and they don't want to do it, but it actually only takes about 30 minutes of hands-on time, and then they just need to dry the rest of the day. So they're completely worth it. They taste tremendously better than the marshmallows that you could buy in the grocery store, and I promise it's going to be worth it. If you haven't had homemade marshmallows, I feel bad for you, so I want to fix that. And if you can't come over to my house and get some marshmallows today, I want to show you how to do it. So hopefully by this weekend, you will have gathered your ingredients and you'll be ready to make marshmallows as well. It is easy to adapt marshmallows to any holiday or special occasion by just adding food coloring or different extracts. And we're gonna make them yellow and orange today. We're also going to add almond extract, which is my secret special ingredient. I only add it in a few things that I bake, but when I do, wow, it's so good and takes it over the top. So if you haven't had almond extract before, definitely get it and use it in this recipe. So this recipe calls for us to take our mixer, and we're gonna add 1/2 cup of cold water into our mixing bowl. And then we're gonna get unflavored gelatin packs, just the 1/4 ounce pack. And we're gonna add 3 of those to that water. And then we're going to put it in our mixer and whisk it around just for about 30 seconds until that gelatin is incorporated into the water. And then we're gonna let it sit while we do our other things. So let me get this on. And you'll put your whisk on. Okay. Just for a few seconds. Now that's good to go. We're going to take 3 tablespoons of cornstarch and put it in a sifter. Then 1/3 cup of powdered sugar. And we're going to sift that all together into a bowl until it's nicely mixed together and fluffy. It's important that we don't use metal around these marshmallows because that flavor can be passed into the marshmallows. So we are going to take this mixture and sift it, take a little sifter, just a scoopful of it, into a glass 9x13 dish. So just a quick little covering. Yes, you're gonna get the counter a little bit dirty, but it's worth it because then your marshmallows won't stick, because it wouldn't be any fun to make the marshmallows and then you can't get the marshmallows out. Okay, now that I've covered the bottom of my dish, and my gelatin is thickening up in that water right now, I want to cook my syrup for my marshmallows. So all I need to do is add another 1/2 cup of cold water plus 1.5 cups of sugar, white granulated sugar, 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I always use pink salt, pink Himalayan salt, because it's really good for you, but you can use any salt that you like. And then my trick is I take cooking spray and I spray my measuring cup. This is 1 cup. And then I take my light corn syrup and pour it into my 1 cup measuring cup. And then because of that baking spray, all of that syrup is easily gonna come out for me. Then, not using a metal spoon, we wanna use a wooden spoon. We want to mix this all together until the sugar and the corn syrup are all mixed together. Okay, and then we're gonna put that on the fire. At medium. Now, an essential thing to have when you make marshmallows or any candy of that sort is a thermometer. So this cooking thermometer has been with me quite some time, and it's so helpful. I used to be really intimidated about using them, but it's not hard. You've got this little clip on the side. You're gonna clip it to the side of your pan, and don't let the tip of the thermometer hit the bottom of the pot. So you have to pull it up a little bit until it's just poking into that syrup. And then we're gonna leave it alone. It's gonna take about 10 minutes for it to reach 240 degrees. But once it's done it, we are going to pour it into our gelatin mixture, and we are going to whisk it for 10 to 15 minutes until it is light and fluffy and looks like marshmallow cream. We're gonna add our food coloring and our extracts then, put it into our 9x13 dish, and then I'm gonna make it a whole other batch, a different color to layer on top of it. And then we'll cut those into cubes, or you could take cookie cutters and do different shapes with it. That would be fun as well. And then we can enjoy it either as is or in hot chocolate or s'mores, and the sky's the limit. So let's see what happens next. It has been just about 6 minutes since we first started this mixture on the heat. And I wanted to mention to you that once you do start the cooking process for your syrup, do not stir it anymore. Leave it alone, hands off. If you notice that some sugar has spread up on the sides, you sloshed it up there accidentally, which I did as I was putting it over here, you want to take a pastry brush, dip it in some water, and then run that along the rim of your pan, because you can't have any more contact with the syrup once it starts to cook. Now, my syrup is almost to the soft ball stage, which means 240 degrees. I am only 2 degrees away from it, and you don't want to walk away from your syrup. Stay right there. You can play with your phone just a little bit, but keep glancing at that pot, because it gets to that temperature faster than you would believe. And once it achieves that, you need to start adding it into your gelatin mixture to be able to have those marshmallows. You can't get any hotter than 240 or you're in trouble with your marshmallows. Almost there. So as soon as it hits 240, I'm going to start my mixer on a very slow, the very slowest speed that there is for it. And then I am gently and carefully, because it'll burn my skin right off, going to take this and pour it into my bowl. You want to make sure that when you pour the syrup in, that you don't get it on the whisk beater itself. It needs to go up against the edge of the bowl, because if it gets onto the whisk, it will crystallize onto it, and then it won't incorporate into the gelatin and make those sweet, fluffy marshmallows. Almost there. Homemade marshmallows can also be made into something that I like to do that's called a Malamar. I don't know if you've had one of those before, but it's in the cookie aisle, and it is a graham cracker with a marshmallow on top and then covered in chocolate. Unbelievably good. So I often make homemade marshmallows so I can do that as well. Here we go. All right, so I've achieved 240. And if you're nervous at all, definitely use an oven mitt. I'm gonna turn off my heat, and I'm gonna start whisking this gelatin very slowly, because I don't want the syrup to pop up and hit me. And then I'm going to slowly and carefully pour it into my mixing bowl without getting it on the whisk. So very gently pouring it in, and it's going to dissolve that gelatin, and it's the thickening agent for the marshmallow. You know when you buy marshmallows and they're chewy? It's because of all that gelatin, right? This homemade marshmallow uses less gelatin than the ones you buy in the grocery store. And you can totally tell the difference because of all the fluff. But they still stay good for over a week if they last that long in your house, which if you make these, I really severely doubt they're gonna last that long. I've almost got all of my syrup in. And there we go. So now I am going to gradually start increasing the speed on this because I don't want it to splash around out of the bowl. So I'll just take it up a notch every 30 seconds. And once it starts to thicken, I can go faster and faster. And then I'm gonna set my timer for 10 to 15 minutes. Once I hit the 10-minute mark, I'm gonna start watching it. And if I see that it is thick and shiny, then I'm good to go. I can stop whipping it. So I'm gonna increase my speed, and I'll keep doing that. I don't wanna bore you or hurt your ears with all the sound that it's gonna make. So I'm gonna come back to you in 10 minutes and show you what it looks like. It has been 10 minutes exactly since I started whipping the marshmallow mixture. And it is light and fluffy now. And so I'm going to add my extracts and my food coloring. I'm gonna do 1 tablespoon of marshmallows because right now it doesn't have much flavor. The extracts are necessary. And because I love it so, a teaspoon of almond extract. It's very potent, so definitely don't do a tablespoon of the almond extract. And then I'm gonna take some yellow gel food coloring, which is very strong color. So it's not like the liquid, but you could just as easily use the liquid food coloring. You just have to use more of it. So I'm gonna do a good old squirt of my yellow gel food coloring, and I'm gonna whip this for another minute to incorporate all those things together. I'm not quite happy with the color, so I'm going to do another squirt of the yellow gel. Maybe a little bit more. Now that's all been mixed together. So I am going to take my spatula and try to get off as much of the marshmallow mixture as I can. So you see the magic that took place here. That gelatin and corn syrup mixture became this light, fluffy marshmallow cream once we whipped all that air into it for 10 minutes. You can always give it to your kids to lick the whisk after this. My kids usually do. So fun. Of course, they wear most of it when they do that. Now, you are going to pour that onto your powdered sugar cornstarch mixture. And if you only wanted to do 1 batch of marshmallows, you could stop right here. And you could put the powdered sugar on top of it so it wouldn't be so sticky, and you could cut it into cubes or use your cookie cutter to do different shapes with it. But I'm going to do a 2-tone marshmallow for Halloween. So now that I have my yellow marshmallow done, I am going to prepare an orange marshmallow in the exact same fashion that I just did the yellow. So I'll spread it out and then I'll show you what it looks like. Fun. So I'm not going to put the powdered sugar on it because I want the orange marshmallow cream to stick to this one, and then they'll become 1 marshmallow. Okay. I have made a second batch of of marshmallows that I dyed orange, and I put them both together, put powdered sugar on top, and a couple hours later, I dumped out the whole pan onto a thing of powdered sugar, and then I proceeded to cut all of the marshmallows into chunks, and I'm really pleased with how it turned out. It's really light and fluffy, and you can't see the colors very well in the video, but it's just this pretty light yellow and orange, and it looks like candy corn. And I hope that you will try making some marshmallows for Halloween or for just today. Thank you so much. I'll post the recipe in the additional comments section of it, and please subscribe if you haven't. Bye for now.